Now let's talk about the Blue Belt machine. Warning, do not use this machine if you are or have any electrical implants, such as a pacemaker or insulin pump embedded into your body. If you can take your insulin pump off, then you can absolutely use it. If you are pregnant, have a high fever, have transplanted organs, serious kidney problems, if you're going through chemotherapy, or if you have been drinking a lot of alcohol. This is a powerful machine for detoxifying and rebalancing your body, but we don't want to do too much too fast, and that's why those warnings. Important, drink plenty of water before and during your session, and then again after your session for optimal hydration. So, note, glasses may be left on if you would like to read a book. Do not use a cell phone or electrical device while using the e-power belt with the machine turned on. The electricity flowing through your body can affect electronics. Like, it just doesn't help your cell phone work any better. It just kind of acts funny if you're holding it and you're on this machine. So just be aware of that. The Blue Belt machine is an electrotherapy machine that focuses on the negative ions within every cell of your body. It sends an electrical current through your body, which can facilitate accelerated healing, relief or removal of pain, hours of energy, mental focus, pH balance, softer, smoother, tighter skin, so anti-aging, reconnection of electrical circuits, and much more. This machine creates a negative electrical field throughout your body, which is good. The Blue Belt machine addresses your health in every way. It can enable the body to improve its ability for recovery, building a strong immunological system, enabling continuous cell reactivation, and thereby rejuvenation and wellness on multiple levels. Body systems it may help: circulatory, nervous, digestive, urinary, immune, skeletal, respiratory, and skin. Now, we have also seen a lot of really good benefits for the bowels, and I know that's part of the digestive system, but people who suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, this is amazing. And also hormones. My staff is all female, and this really helps to balance our hormones, and we've really noticed some great things for our skin with using this. So, functions of the body that it may help: it promotes regular bowel movements and decreased constipation and diarrhea. It's really interesting. Like I just said, it really helps to balance those bowels out. So if you have irritable bowel syndrome and you're going to the bathroom a lot, it helps to balance that out. If you're constipated, it helps to balance that out. So it's really, really cool. It decreases headaches and migraines. It helps to relieve stress. It helps with depleted energy, aging hair and skin, poor eyesight, a lack of mental focus. It helps to calm and comfort the whole body, increases the oxygen intake, slows down the pulse, reduces blood pressure, lowers blood sugar, reduces blood coagulation, increases white blood cells, promotes a healthier lifestyle, and helps you lose weight. Now, these all come from the company where we get this piece of equipment, but I will tell you, we have seen a lot of these things actually here. We had a gentleman who was having some heart palpitations, and he had for years. And as he started coming to Ahhsome, and especially using the Blue Belt, his heart was able to calm down. The testimonial, his wife is Kelly in our raving fans section. Go watch it and see what you think. Everything here is subject to personal discretion, and remember, we're only here to help relieve stress, and hopefully your body can heal. But maybe this could be a powerful tool in your lowering your blood sugar or helping with your mental focus. So what this does is it helps with the negative ions in your body. It's a grounding therapy, so it's the same waveform of electricity that we get from the earth. So if you've heard of grounding, where you take your shoes off and you walk in the grass for a period of time, or you lay down in a bathing suit on the grass, it really makes a difference in how we feel. There's a whole movie on it. I think it's on Netflix or Amazon or something. Go watch it. But about grounding. This piece of equipment helps to ground your body, but it does affect the negative ions or the positive ions in your body so that you have more negative ions. So what do negative ions do for you? Negative ions cause microscopic particles or particulates floating in a room that cause some people to have an allergic reaction, to clump together and fall to the floor or other surfaces where they can be vacuumed up. This is due to an electrostatic charge between the negative ions and other air molecules and particles in the air. According to the book The Ion Effect, negative ions are effective for allergies, asthma, excessive discharge or buildup of mucus in the nose or throat, and there's a word for it and I can't read it, so just know excessive discharge or buildup of mucus, hay fever, sinusitis, eczema, burns, emphysema, and even as a substitute for tranquilizers. We talk about this in another section on negative ions. Just there was a study done about it. They're just absolutely amazing what they can do for the body. It was discovered that negative ions balance serotonin in the body, and this explains why people tend to feel more alert, stable, and energized in the presence of negative ions. Dr. Kruger found that bacteria, staphylococci, and fungi growth is halted in the presence of negative ions, which explains the healing side effect. Dr. Kambluch mounted experiments at Northeastern Hospital and at Frankfurt Hospital in Philadelphia, where he was able to report that 63% of patients suffering from hay fever or bronchial asthma have experienced partial or total relief from negative ion therapy. Russian studies reveal that positive, not negative ions, on the other hand, make breathing more difficult. Negative ions neutralize positive ions, while ionization of the air is mandatory in many European and Russian hospitals and workplaces. It's only recently come to light here in our country with the growing problem of toxic air in our urban environments. So remember that feeling that you've experienced near a waterfall or high in the mountains? Those are two such places where thousands of negative ions occur. They create an effect on human biochemistry. So there is just so much research, and I think I'm going to attach to this some more information about negative ions just so that you can hear and understand more. But this blue belt creates negative ions. It's one of several therapies here that create negative ions. The halo cabins, the blue belts, and the infrared heat pads that have jade or tourmaline stones all do. So if you're trying to work on some hormone balancing or just help yourself heal and relax, the Blue Belt is just a really awesome place to start. There is an article that we have in our binders on negative ions that's called Beating a Case of VODs, VODS. Negative ions may be an answer to the video blahs. Now, what is VODs? VODs is Video Operator Distress Syndrome. And it's something that's really prevalent. A lot of people are dealing with it. And it makes us, it really makes us struggle. Okay, so just a couple of other scientific studies that we have in the binder. There is, of course, more information than this, but in 1995, in the Journal of Alternative and Comparative Medicine, which is a journal of the Columbia Presbyterian Medical Center, the results of a study that they did were reported in several different places, but also on CBS News with Connie Chung. There were two researchers that conducted a study of the impact of negative ion therapy on people suffering from seasonal affective disorder, winter depression, the blues. It's an issue that is often symptomatically indistinguishable from all year round depression. Researchers believe that the biology of seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, is very similar to that of all-year depression. Hence, the same antidepressant drugs such as Prozac or Zoloft are used to treat both. So the study was conducted in a double-blind fashion and divided clinically depressed subjects into two groups. The subject in the first group were treated for 30 minutes a day for 20 days with a low-density ion generator that produced around 10,000 ions per cubic centimeter. And that was the control group. And then the subjects in the second group were treated for 30 minutes a day for 20 days with a high-density ion generator that produced 2,700,000 ions per cubic centimeter. And they were the experimental group. The remission or cure used was a 50% or greater reduction in symptom frequency and severity using the seasonal affective disorder version of the Hamilton Depression Rating Scale. So all of this is very scientific. The results of the study shocked the medical community. While a low-density negative ion generator provided little benefit, but remember, they were also only there for 20 minutes a day, a high-density negative ion generator gave relief from depression comparable to that given by Prozac and other antidepressants without drug side effects. That was a big deal. So in the magazine Whole Self in the spring of 1991, there was an article that was entitled Ions and Consciousness. Ions, it explains, are charged particles in the air that are formed when enough energy acts upon a molecule such as carbon dioxide, oxygen, water, or nitrogen to eject an electron. The displaced electron attaches itself to a nearby molecule, which then becomes a negative ion. It is the negative ion of oxygen that affects us most. Remember that feeling you've experienced near a waterfall or high in the mountains that we've already talked about? Those are two such places where thousands of negative ions occur. They create an effect on human biochemistry. The normal ion count in fresh country air is 2,000 to 4,000 negative ions per cubic centimeter, about the size of a sugar cube. At Yosemite Falls, you'll experience over 100,000 negative ions per cubic centimeter. On the other hand, the level is far below 100 per cubic centimeter on the Los Angeles freeway during rush hour. Research on ions began in the 1950s with Dr. Albert Kruger, professor emeritus of the University of California at Berkeley, and Dr. Felix Sulman, professor of pharmacology at the Hebrew University in Israel. So Dr. Kruger excited the scientific world when he discovered ions to be biologically active, stimulated production of the powerful chemical serotonin, so 5-HT. Serotonin is a very active neurohormone, which a lot of us know a lot about now, which causes profound neural, glandular, and digestive effects throughout the body. So serotonin is really, really important to us. Dr. Solomon corroborated Dr. Kruger's findings while studying positive ion victims of the hot, dry, there's the name of a desert that I can't even say, but basically hot, dry desert near Jerusalem. And it's just rampant with positive ions. So he demonstrated 3 effects of positive ion excess. They are irritation and tension, exhaustion, and hyperthyroid response. So most of these conditions, along with the symptoms of depression, anxiety, headaches, and low energy, physical and mental functions, were shown to be alleviated or totally eliminated by increasing the negative ion count in the air. So they were able to prove that exposure to negative ions helps us overcome the negative effects of positive ions. So while ionization of the air is mandatory in Europe and Russian hospitals and workplaces, it's only recently come to light here in the United States with the growing problem of toxic air in our urban environments. So we have multiple things here at Ahhsome that produce negative ions. These heating pads that you're laying on. We also have the salt rooms, the halo cabins that produce negative ions. The blue belt also produces large numbers of negative ions. So we have lots of ways for you to get negative ions into your body here at Ahhsome. So I hope that you have enjoyed learning a little bit more about the science behind each of these therapies that you're using right at this moment, hopefully, which are zero gravity, infrared heat, and negative ions. And now you know a little bit more. If you'd like to know even more, please see our binders in the Relaxation Lounge. And I hope you have an awesome day. We are going to talk about zero gravity therapy. So let's start with zero gravity chairs. This chair does not defy gravity. You're not going to fly off into the atmosphere, nor does the chair hover or float. Zero gravity has to do with the reclined position that this chair can assume while you're in it. This position mimics the posture that astronauts take during liftoff on space missions. Because astronauts endure intense and sudden increases in gravity while escaping the Earth's gravitational pull, it's important that they position themselves so that their bodies can deal with the increase in stress. By assuming a reclined position, astronauts distribute the stress of takeoff across their bodies in a safe way. To that end, The chairs astronauts sit in during launch use this reclined configuration. Zero gravity puts the human body into a heightened state of relaxation as well. It decreases the pressure on all the joints. The zero gravity position cushions sore muscles and decreases muscle tension throughout the body. It makes you feel weightless, stress-free, and energized. So let's talk about the benefits to different parts and systems of the body. So first, the back. The zero gravity position results in a neutral position of the spine where gravitational forces do not affect it. Its design supports the natural curves of the spine along with the upper and lower back, thus reducing muscle tension in the back and neck, which can reduce pain. Zero gravity reduces strain on your vertebra, reducing back pain. Because the body is evenly supported, the spine has a chance to relax and decompress, allowing valuable nutrients the opportunity to enter the normally compacted spinal cord and heal damaged tissues. Circulation. The zero gravity position reduces the strain on the heart, improving circulation and raising blood oxygen levels. In a zero gravity position, the blood flow from the heart changes when a human is in an upright position. The heart is required to work against the force of gravity to pump blood to the extremities. In a reclined position, the situation is obviously reversed. Blood flows into the heart with the support of gravity as opposed to against it, essentially accommodating the heart's natural function. Lungs. When an open angle is created between the torso and the thighs, more space is created for the diaphragm to expand. This results in an increase of oxygen from the air and expanded lungs and promotes deeper breathing. All of these things will allow for a better blood flow, bringing more oxygen to all parts of your body. Let's talk about green light therapy. So when we started our adventure with light therapy, there was a lot of science about red light therapy, and I thought, okay, we're gonna go with red light therapy, and then we just left it at that and really didn't research any of the other colors, if you will, of light therapy very much more. And then we had a couple of guys who are special forces who came in and said, you really need green light therapy in here, and we were like, really, what's green light therapy good for? And they said it really helps with sleep and anxiety and depression. And he said that, the two of them said that they had used green light therapy in the military. And interestingly enough, we found out that Delta Airlines has also installed green light therapy in some of their flights. Just because turbulence or having to sit on the tarmac too long or whatever, they researched it and learned, hey, green light therapy will help our clients to be able to fly easier. So we decided, okay, let's do a little more research on green light therapy, and then we obviously installed it here at Ahhsome. So let me teach you just a little bit more about the research on green light therapy. So researchers at Harvard University's Division of Sleep Medicine now confirm that the peak sensitivity of the human circadian system is close to 500 nm, as provided by green light therapy. This conclusion is based on a study with low light lamps conducted for the National Space Biomedical Research Institute, as well as on other studies conducted at Harvard University's Division of Sleep Medicine. In reference to studies for NASA's Advanced Capabilities Division, the researchers at Harvard stated that as a result of this, quote, new information about the peak sensitivity of the human circadian system, determining that the most efficacious specialized light source should have a peak near 500 nm. That's a quote from NASA's Space Life and Physical Science Research and Application Division Task Book. And you can see that in our binders in the Relaxation Lounge. Green light is comprised of light wavelengths that appear green or teal to the viewer and are made up of wavelengths longer than 480 nm and shorter than 570 nm. Spectral sensitivity of the photic pathway to the hypothalamic region of the brain. The measure of the psychological response to light exposure is determined by the extent of the induced phase shift and by the degree of suppression of nocturnal melatonin levels. The ability of low intensities of green light induce the equivalent psychological response to that historically introduced by high intensities of white light has been confirmed in an independent study published by the Canadian Defense Department's R&D Center and the U.S. Air Force. A press release on this project by the National Space Biomedical Research Institute, NSBRI, the leader of the research group, stated, "Based on previous laboratory studies, we anticipate that during exposure to the shorter wavelength green light, that melatonin will be significantly suppressed, resulting in better performance during overnight work," which is why I'm guessing they used it for the Special Forces. Extensive trials in the workplace by a U.S. military research and development center with low-light lamps have also found that suppression of nocturnal melatonin levels to daytime levels occurs in less than 30 minutes with indirect exposure to 300 lux of green light from low-light lamps and persists for over 2 hours after the termination of exposure. These results were supported from trials conducted on crews of Coast Guard cutters during normal operations and compare favorably with the effect reported in the literature from 10,000 lux of bright light. And all that information is in our binders. So, green light therapy benefits in Eastern medicine. Light therapy, also called chromiotherapy or color therapy, is the use of specific colors as a healing technique. The effect of color on cells was documented in the early 20th century when photobiologist John Ott observed a change in a cell behavior in response to color filters from his camera. This led to further research on the effect that colored light has on living organisms. Wavelengths. Each color in the spectrum has a different wavelength that light therapy advocates say corresponds to effects on the body. Warmer colors such as red and yellow tend to stimulate the nervous system, while cooler colors such as blue and indigo have a calming effect. The color green is in the middle of the color spectrum and therefore has a balancing effect on the body. Green is considered a cooler color and also helps bring about a slightly sedative effect. Benefits. 2 hours of daily exposure to green light was just as effective in treating depression symptoms caused by seasonal affective disorder as exposure to white light, and was more effective than red light, according to a study published in 1991 in the American Journal of Psychiatry. Eastern medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine, Egyptian medicine, and Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurvedic medicine is one of the world's oldest holistic or whole body healing systems. It was developed more than 3,000 years ago in India. It's based on the belief that health and wellness depends on a delicate balance between the mind, body, and spirit. So all three of those have all used light therapy. Ayurvedic practitioners use green light to treat ulcers. Each chakra is also connected to specific colors. The fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, is associated with the color green, which is symbolic of its ability to help balance emotions. Antiseptic properties. Ayurvedic practitioners say the color green has properties that discourage the growth of pathogens, and it is considered an antiseptic and disinfectant. Holistic color therapists have used green light to treat infections, according to a 2001 article in the Encyclopedia of Alternative Medicine. Techniques. So here at Ahhsome Relaxation, we have provided passive green light therapy in the chat room for your relaxation benefits. You can also gain the health benefits of the color green at home by wrapping yourself in a green blanket, which we have green blankets here at Ahhsome, or wrapping a glass gallon container of drinking water in green cellophane and letting it absorb sunlight for several hours. According to our Ayurvedic practices, the water will be infused with the energy level of the green color and will contain its therapeutic effects. So I hope this has helped you learn a little more about green light. We have really noticed its effects for seasonal affective disorder, depression, and anxiety. So we've also combined it with several other therapies here at Ahhsome, mainly the blue belt, because we know that the negative ions that the blue belt produces also helps with anxiety and depression, and also helps to balance out a lot of the different systems of the body. So hopefully you have tried the green light here. If not, we highly encourage you to give it a try and see how you feel. Let us know. Thanks. Have an awesome day.